Hello everyone, my name is CharryOn, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world after having just gotten back from a huge adventure to the south with bees, and we now have a full bee skep ready to take home and put somewhere. Boy, is it good to be back and see some familiar sights, and man, we should check out these ruins sometime. We haven't had a chance to yet, but now that we've had our first taste of treasure, I can't help but think these ruins would be perfect for us to ransack next. Anyway, let's get home. We're going to unload, and then we're going to get back on track with bees and skeps and early game lighting in the Stone Age. Alright folks, we are home sweet home. And hey, some of the trees we planted have grown. That's pretty cool to see. Ooh, and check out the crops. Oh my goodness. We have flax galore. Oh, we have onions and parsnips. The carrots we moved over last episode are already also almost done. This fennel is a bit of a stinker. It's taking forever to grow. Yeah, so we'll be able to gather even more flax today. That is excellent. But before I forget, I think I'm going to run up here. I'm going to just leave this lantern up here. We're going to do it maybe right here. We'll pick this guy up, put the lantern down. This is a little bit cheaty for the early game, but we did find it as treasure. So as far as I'm concerned, it's legit. And that means we can go ahead. We're going to put this lantern or this lamp right here to light things up right there. And let's get to the bees. So where to put your bees and what to do with them. I'm going to show you my method. My method is not necessarily the best or most efficient method, but it works really well for me and I get lots of beeswax from it. The first thing I'm going to recommend is that you don't put your bees anywhere near your animals. This might be far enough, but I'm thinking like up here might be even safer. We can fill in this little bit of land here, have our bees down here. And that's because whenever you break a skep to get your beeswax or your honeycomb out of, there is a reasonable chance that you're going to spawn some very angry bees as well. So you want to keep your bees as far as you can from your animals without it being too onerous of a walk. It should be within maybe 15 to 30 seconds of a walk for you. Bees are also susceptible to being attacked by raccoons. You can combat this by a couple things. One is you can put the skeps high up, which could make them annoying to break, but it isn't the worst thing. In fact, putting your skeps on blocks like this, 2 blocks high, will keep the raccoons away from your skeps without the need for a fence. However, I don't like to have to jump to place my skeps, so we're going to build a fence. I'm going to start by gathering some more wood from our pine trees that just grew there. And we're going to fill in this land a little bit, and we're going to get these bees rehived, I suppose. Okay, everything's ready. I've gotten some more materials, including some oak logs for decoration and some more rough-hewn fences. Now, my preference is to build sort of a section, kind of like our farms, where I'll do a 3x3 set of 3x3 fields or skeps. Go on. Yeah, trot away. We'll start here, and we're going to count out. So here's the corner. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll keep going. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Oops. There we go. We will need to fill this in with a little bit more dirt right across the front. That's not a problem. And we'll make this a narrow one, at least for now. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll put our entrance right in the middle here. 1, 2, 3, and 1. There's our corner. Let's match these up. Oh my goodness, that was exact. Holy moly. And then we're going to come through, and wherever we would normally have water blocks in our farms, we're going to put some logs. And these are just that I have something to prop up the skeps onto. Nothing crazy going on here. There we go. And the last thing to do is I'm going to put one log here and one log here. I'm going to put our first skep up on this log right up here. I'll hear the bees start buzzing. They don't have much to do at the moment because there are no flowers nearby, but what this does is this tells me don't harvest this skep. I only harvest the ones that are on top of these logs here. That way I always have a skep that has bees in it to repopulate these, because what will happen is once I place a new skep down and there are enough flowers, this beehive will slowly get larger and larger, or the skep's population will get larger and larger, and then once it gets large enough, they will swarm and they'll populate a nearby skep. So this way, they are always renewable, and I always have bees to come home to. It's kind of riftly out tonight, so I'm going to go and take a rest, and we'll pick this back up in the morning. Good morning. What? Are you accusing me of having slept in the apiary? No, I would never do that. Not me. Of course, I woke up next to another rift, but there was one right outside the house all night. I think it's still there. Yeah, I can see the faint bubble right there. That would have possibly spawned things too close for comfort. Now, we have work to do. Let's get to it. The first thing we need to do is get some flowers and some skeps, and luckily we have one right here that I definitely plan to leave here to use today, and definitely didn't just forget to bring with us when we were looking for bees in the first place. No, you're being silly. That would never happen. I would never forget something as important as that. But what we're going to do to start out is we're going to put one skep right here. We'll start with just the one because this will take some time to populate. And we are going to surround all of these with as many flowers as we can get our grubby little raccoon paws on. I'm not going to get too deep into how the bees work mechanically because they have some seriously deep lore. But suffice it to say that the more flowers, the more better. So I'm going to get some more flowers. We're going to go and ransack that field of lupins over there. And there's one, I believe, down yonder, which I can't quite see. We'll bring them all back here. And, oh, that is a shiver. Hello, shiver. Can you climb the fence to me? I don't think you can. Hi. Oh, you turd. Back here. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Gotcha. Yeah. You thought you had me. I am also going to head over to the lake over here. The lakes, plural. Pick up as many pieces of cattails as I can and bring the roots home. And I'll plant them right here in our long strip of cattails that keeps growing here. And we're going to fill in this apiary. Also, before I forget, I did indeed check. And our pig, our sow, is now pregnant. You can see it flashing by the top of the screen there. Pretty cool stuff. So we can stop feeding them for now. They are strong animals. They don't need to eat a whole lot, apparently. Starvation means nothing to them. We also have a female hare here. I wonder if we can capture her with some food, or if this baby deer are going to get in the way. Alright, we'll see how this goes, but I don't think we're going to have too much luck. I think we can accidentally catch deer in these, although I'm not certain. Judging by this list, I don't think we can. So hopefully they don't try to, like, break the trap, and we'll see if we can get that hare. Alright, back to bee work for me. And like that, our apiary is set up and ready to go. Now you don't have to go as crazy as I did, but I want to have plenty of light earlier on rather than later. Now granted, we did get that lantern and we have a few oil lamps, but I would like to really get some candles going on. And this one should be ready right here in a couple days or so. So we are going to give it some time and come back and we'll check in on the bees and see if they are ready in a day or two. Maybe even both days. In the meantime, that gives us a chance to catch up on some chores, like maybe rotating our crops, feeding the rabbits, and maybe scooting some things around the house to get ready for a larger and more final move. Good morning. And what do you look at that? We have a light temporal storm approaching. That's not great news, but it's not the worst news either. It's already fairly riftly out here. And yes, that is the correct term in Kurazar world for rift activity. But the bees are not ready yet, so let's go rotate some crops here. We're going to harvest basically everything that's grown, which is everything but the fennel and the flax over on this side. Honestly, I might just kind of kill the fennel. I really don't care about it. So, starting with the flax, let's pick up all of this stuff. When you're harvesting, make sure to only harvest the plants that are listed as mature. You can tell by sight, but if you're new to the game or unused to it, then you want to make sure you read that top info panel and make sure that it says mature up there. Your plants may get heat damage in the summer or cold damaged in the winter. If they do, don't worry. If they survive, you'll still get some crop out of them, though not as many. And if they do die, you will always get the seed out of them. You'll never lose the seed. The only time you'll lose a seed is if you harvest them early before they're ready. Let's go ahead and pop this in here. This will be a great feed for the pigs later. We have some more onions. We got a big dash of flax. Let's put that up here for now. We'll come back to that in a minute. So, as the storm draws nearer, let's go and see what we can do with the fields. We touched on this in the last episode, but we need to rotate our crops. As you'll see here, the K has been reduced to 29.8, down from 65%, and our K crops will grow at 66% given the 100% moisture from the rain. That's over here on the high fertility. On the medium, it's even slower. So we don't want to plant anything that requires potassium here, but starting over here, we can. We kept this half of this field open for K crops. We planted up in this half before. So for this field and this half of this field, we want to plant non-K crops. Over here, we can go ahead and plant some more K, although I might actually wait and let these finish growing here. Kind of clear these out, get rid of the fennel here. I don't think I'll grow it again, unless we're going to do some extreme fishing. Now, some plants will be damaged by heat, like I said, so we don't want to plant them if we can avoid it. We have some cabbage. They're good to 35 degrees Celsius. That is plenty. This isn't much, but it'll get us started on expanding our cabbage seed stash. We also have, what are these, some parsnips. They're good to 32. Let's go ahead and plant them just so we can get some more seeds, possibly, in the future. And then we have 36 onions. I'm going to plant a lot of these. Now over here, we did get a lot of grain from that, but we also have a lot of onions already planted, as well as other veggies. So I think over here, I will go ahead and we're going to plant some spelt. The rye is only good until about 27 degrees Celsius, but spelt can handle up to 40. So we'll plant that there. And then, you know, I think I will go ahead and we're going to plant the flax right over here. And come back probably in the morning. It's carrots. Up here, what do we have? We also have possibly more K planting area. I'm going to leave that for now. Again, this is getting kind of weird and off time because of the flax and the odd planting of the carrots we did last episode. We also have a storm approaching, so I gotta go get ready for that. Okay, We're here. I cleared out some poodoo deer that had infested this area over here. Let's dive in. And it begins. I will probably cut any of this that is not interesting and relevant. But if there is anything interesting that happens, then I will certainly bring you all back for it. Wish me luck. Okay, folks. Well, that was, again, not too bad. Just annoying more than anything. We only got 5 flax fibers from that. But we didn't die, so I call it a win. I am going to harvest our currently grown reeds and get ready for the next time. We need to make some more skeps. And then it'll probably be time to settle in for the night. So we'll check in on the bees in the morning. In the meantime, I have gone and oiled 4 more small hides from our stash of lots of them in here. And I think now is a good time to turn our 3 large rawhides into the rawhide wrap. Oh, and that gave us even more small hides. Okay, we didn't need those apparently. Very strange, but okay. So we now have a full set of clothing. I think I'll put them, up here, here we go. And the wrap. And we now have 3.5 stacks of flax fibers. What to do with these? Well, by themselves, they're not too useful, except when we want to make some candles. So we're going to reserve maybe this stack for candles. Or maybe even just this half stack for now. The rest of these, or at least some of them, we can turn into flax twine. Each full stack of flax fibers will make us 16 flax twine. There we go, we have 32. And 4 flax twine can be turned into linen cloth. We can use this further to make bolts of cloth right here. And as you can see, this can be used to make a lot of different things, from tailored gameboized armor to various kinds of clothing for keeping warm in winter, as well as even chairs once we have access to wood. We can also get into cloth dyeing, but that requires being in the Copper Age, so we're not ready for that quite yet. I think the thing we're going to do for now is we are going to advance to a much larger backpack, much larger inventory. We'll do that by sacrificing, or rather utilizing, 4 flax twine and 4 linen in this arrangement here. And we're going to pull out linen sacks. And this, my friends, will dramatically increase our ability to carry things. Now, we are skipping over one type of backpack that we could have made. We just didn't really get enough resources to make it until very recently. We also now have these linen sacks. That would be the hunter's pack. For the hunter's pack, we would need to use some, here we go, some reeds. We would need 15 of them, like so. And we would use 3 of these once they'd cured, and that would make 1 hunter's backpack. Each of those has 4 inventory slots. Each of these linen sacks has 5. So we've almost doubled our internal inventory here. We went from 2 rows to 3 rows and 1/3 of a 4th row. Now we have these reed hand baskets. They're not too useful to us, so what we can do now is we can actually break them down back into their original cattail components. We only get back half of the cattails, but that is a nice tidy profit, or at least return on investment. Something else we can do, now that it is cured, or they are cured, is we can actually make use of these bear hides, or bear pelts, to make some armor. First, I'm going to cut off the heads of each of these by crouching with a knife and holding right-click. You'll get the black bear head pelt. I'm taking both of them because we're going to be using both of these pelts for armor, and although the head's also used, the only way to repair the armor is with the original constituent part. So for the head armor, you need a black bear head pelt, and for the body and leg armors, you need the bear pelts. Let's go ahead and pick these up. I'll take them downstairs with us to where I hope we have everything we need. Now, in order to make bear armor, you need some rope. I'm going to grab this guy and the few pieces we've stashed all over the front of our house. This isn't a ton, But it'll get us started, and we'll preserve some of our cattails, because we're going to have to dip into those too. Let's go ahead and make rope. Again, we need 8 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that hurts so bad. But we got boatloads of cattails. I'm not too worried about our ability to recover from that expenditure. We also need some bones. And let's go ahead and build ourselves some bear armor. We have a black bear hide helmet, the black bear hide body armor, and we have the black bear hide leg armor. Wowee, a full set of armor. Let's put this on our hotbar and get changed. Are you all ready for this transformation? I sure hope you are. Here goes. Legs on, body on, and helmet on. Boy, do we look fearsome. Very cool. Now, we do have this pelt down here. I think I'm going to leave it for now. It makes a very fine rug. Yes, you do. Who's a good boy. And if we need to repair our armor, then we will at least have that available. This doesn't have the most durability, but it is what's called Protection Tier 1. Every enemy has a tier of damage, with surface drifters being 0 and nightmare drifters being 4. Most animals are 1 or 2. In fact, most of them are actually 2. But the higher tier your armor is against the enemy's attacks, the more damage it prevents, and the less durability it takes in damage to itself. Now, we are slightly slower. You'll see we are now walking at 96% speed. That is not a huge debuff. It just means we'll have to be careful when we are fighting other creatures, especially bears, because they'll be able to chase us down a bit better now. It does make a bit of an annoying sound. That's okay. We will have to just deal with it. Now let's see how these skeps are doing. Not quite ready yet. The population size is still poor, which is concerning. I'll just do some more chores around the house, and I'll keep an eye on the bees and bring you all back when they have something for us. Okay, folks, it is evening of the same day. Hello, berry bushes. So we have carrots here. And growing carrots. Well, don't mind if I do. But I did come over here and I saw that we now have one, technically... Oh, just one. Okay. One harvestable reed skep. Check it out. See how there's that nice golden color right in there? Now, I did forget one important thing. I'm going to grab a few of these here. Okay, so before we harvest it, like I said before, you may end up with a swarm of angry bees on your hands. The bees will attack you, as well as any other entity, including your animals, like I said earlier. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just clear this spot out. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll dig a little hole in this corner right here. And we will put that flower right back in the hole, because it won't matter too much. We're going to take 2 of these hay grass, and we're going to put them on top of a stick and make a straw dummy. And we're going to plop him right there in the hole. Now that won't protect us 100%, but bees might go for it instead of after us. Now we got pretty lucky there. No angry bees spawned. But I already made a skep. Let's go ahead and plop it right back there. And make sure you count. You should always get 3 honeycomb. There's never a chance to get more or fewer. So let's go get a bite to eat, and then we'll take a look at what we can do with this honeycomb. That's right. You might not recognize the house. I spent the day replacing most of our dirt walls and floor with different dirt walls and floor. I also moved our cellar over to here. As I mentioned, it was getting kind of inconvenient, and I put our storage vessels up on the wall here. That way I can do things like take this guy, put him down here on the floor for easier access. So I thought that was a pretty worthwhile change, and I'm pretty happy with it. I also was able to turn this into an actual access way without affecting the cellar's ability to be a cellar. And we have so much more room for activities. So, what to do with this honeycomb? We can come over to a bowl, or if you have it, a bucket. And if you have a jug, you might be able to store it in a jug too. We don't have any, so we're going to go ahead and do it into a bowl. You just take it in your main hand, hold crouch and hold right click. And you'll hear a little sound. And you'll see we now have 0.2 liters of honey. Each bowl can hold 1 liter, which should be 5 actions here. Oop, picked up the honey. I'm going to leave it on the ground because the honey will never spoil. I'll take a look at it here actually. This is 180 satiation worth of fruit, but we can use that honey to preserve fruit for the winter and make jam. Now, we have this beeswax. We can do 2 main things with it. We can turn it into candles right now. There are some other things we can do with it later. We can also seal crocs in the world if we were to right-click with this right now. This would gain a little white rim around it there to show that it's sealed, and it would last for a lot longer. Probably close to 25 to 30 days, although it is a little low on spoil times, maybe closer to 20. And that's without being sealed in the cellar. What I want to do today, though, is I want to make our very first candle. Prepare to be underwhelmed. For that, we're going to sacrifice a pot. I say that because when you make your first candle, or you make some glue or anything, it will permanently turn that cooking pot into a dirty pot. And you can never use it for cooking ever again, which is kind of weird, but okay. This will create 1 candle. Let's go ahead, we're going to get some wood in here. I'm going to overfill it because I've had problems in the past where when I'm trying to shift click a candle out of the pot here, it goes into this slot here and it cooks it instantly. So I prefer to have this full of something other than air, and that way we hopefully won't run that risk. But you can make up to 6 candles at once. Just put them with flax fibers and 3 beeswax in the slots like this. And there we go. We have our very first candle, light level 7. And you'll see that the cooking pot is now dirty. Residue covered earthy orange ceramic pot. That is a mouthful. So we can still use this for cooking more candles or for making glue, but for cooking meals it is dead to us. So how good or bad are these candles? Well, let's take a look. Let's pick up this guy. I'm going to seal off the door here so we have no interference from outside light. And we're going to swap to it right now. Oh, let's also seal this off as well. There we go. As you can see, it is quite dim in the hand. And even dimmer on the floor, but it does serve to provide a little bit of light. Now we can put more than 1 candle down on the ground, and for each candle above the first, I believe we get 1 more light. So this is 7. So if we add up to 8 more, we can get a light level of up to 15 from a bunch of candles on the floor or on some shelf or other block. Underwhelming by itself, but it does provide a means of getting some decent lighting that lasts longer than torches, in fact lasts forever, and is much brighter than these ceramic lamps. Now these candles are also what will be used later in the game to make lanterns. We'll also need some kind of glass as well as the ability to work metal for that though. So that's going to come after we are done with the Stone Age. So I'm going to keep my eye on the bees, and I'm going to continue harvesting and replacing the skeps and getting lots of candles so we can illuminate our Stone Age house without the need for resorting to higher technology, mysterious technology, things we don't understand, secrets that puzzle us through the night. But that is a story for a later episode, so I'm going to say goodbye at this point. In the next episode, I think we might focus on building out our house, as well as some other odds and ends around here. But that's going to do it for today. The names you see scrolling by belong to the awesome people who are supporting the channel by joining as channel members. If you would like to see your name in the credits, get access to episodes early, or even have me butcher your name in the next section, check out the memberships and see what's on tap. The following people have gone the extra mile to support the channel by subscribing at the Seraph tier. Their names are Elizabeth Woolley, Inger Raymond, Joshua Saruda, Linda Harris, Lucky's Mom, Mad Lord Hubris, Oak Tree, Servus, Smiley Builds, Snow Silver, Sue Wallace, Tyluna, and Wade Parker. As always, my name has been CarryOn. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Are you all ready for this transformation? I sure hope you are. Let's try that again.